In this lesson, we're going to look at the basics of inventory, and we're going to start with the overview. After completing this lesson, you should be able to explain how inventory management fits into the Oracle Fusion Cloud supply chain management offering. We'll list what is included with Fusion Cloud Management within inventory, and we'll explain how inventory management integrates with external systems. So let's see how it fits in the big picture. So from a manufacturing distribution perspective, the inventory module is pretty much the heart and soul for the transactional part of the process. We get our information from product master data management. You may have seen it as PIM or product hub, depending on how and when you license things. But basically we get the item information, what we're going to buy, build, how we're going to plan it. All that information comes from the item master or product master data. And of course, everything we buy comes in through procurement, gets received in inventory. When we build things, we issue components and subassemblies out to manufacturing, and that comes back in when we in inventory, capture the cost. Order management when we sell it. If it's right off the shelf, we can pick back and ship it. Otherwise, we can build it. Planning engine lets us know based on our sales and forecast what we should build when. But pretty much all the transactions revolve around inventory. So what are some of the capabilities, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you did. So here we have depiction of some of the things that happen. So we have the transactions to manage and the account side of things. So inventory is a major asset for the organizations. And I'm talking about the physical inventory, the parts, the components, the subassemblies, the finished goods. And we need to be able to control, manage, and track that. So anything that comes in the back door, while it's within the four walls, we need to manage it, track the cost. If there's any serial lot expiration date, we need to be aware of that, track that. Once we do get an order, whether it's a sales order or transfer order, the material needs to be picked, packed, shipped. Any transaction is going to be captured by cost management if that product or part is cost enabled. And then we can analyze how fast we're doing our turns, how long is inventory sitting, anything going to run out of expiration. Additionally, down at the bottom, we have supply chain orchestration. So when we do get demand for our product, then supply chain orchestration can say, where should we get that? Where should we build it? Financial orchestration manages the ownership and the dollars that could flow across our different borders and business units. And supply chain managerial accounting is all capturing all the costs, or whether it's receipt accounting, landed cost, you're doing standard cost, average cost, whatever the case might be, the system will keep track of it. You can manage all your different flows. So source to settle. If you buy something, you need to pay for it. Order to cash. If we sell something, want to receive cash. And then the plan to produce. So based on what we know and the orders we have, we need to figure out the components we need, when we need them, make sure we have them so we can build whatever it is. And then across the top, you buy things, comes in the back door. You can also get things on transfers from other orgs. You may get returns from customers. Once it is come in, checked, and put away, then it's available for issue to manufacturing. We can do our cycle counts, part counting if you're doing periodic automatic replenishment in the healthcare space, how we want to do our replenishments, or are we doing min-max? By just generally managing the material, reporting and tracking, and then moving it as we need to out to manufacturing, or pick, packing, shipping it out on a sales order. Plus you can do returns back to suppliers if you need to, or ship it out on a transfer to one of your other orgs. So there's a lot going on in inventory. So Who are some of the players? Well, you have your receiving agent. So they can purchase inventory, look at what's coming in, disposition returns coming in, making sure that the invoicing information is being passed along. They may be doing inspections or sending things that are discrepant back to suppliers. Your warehouse operators doing the putaways, managing actually the information's going to cost accounting. So once it's come through the back door and been put away to be in your inventory valuation, and all the magic happens with invoice and receipt and all that fun stuff. And then your requesters and preparers. So a person can manage their own receipts if you're using self-service receiving off of requisitions. System can also support advanced shipping notices or ASNs or ASBNs if you're getting the billing information. There's a handshake with the supplier portal, doing business to business within the org. You have your warehouse manager. So they're tracking inventory, on-hand balances, analyzing the movement of material. The inventory manager doing your ABC classifications, making sure that your replenishments are happening, manage consigned goods. The warehouse operator is physically out there doing things, managing the material movements, maybe doing the cycle counts themselves, doing the counts, moving the material, doing the pick, pack, ship. And within inventory, it supports the movement of material, the transfer orders, adjustments, issues to material, return components, work order completions, min-max, tracking all the dates, doing physical inventories. There's a lot going on. A lot of that supported by the web services and spreadsheet uploads as well. And then the good thing, when things go out the back door. So you got the warehouse manager checking when things need to go out, managing the picks. Get your warehouse operators making sure the picks happen, consolidating loads, getting them to the right place. And then the shipping agent doing the ship confirm, communicating with your trading partners, making sure that the things are manifested properly. And shipping supports the transfer orders, movement requests, the pick, pack, ship, consolidation. You can do inspections out there, supplier lots of fun stuff. Within the system, there's a lot to be managed when you're fulfilling orders. The system will support lots of different ways, so you can drop ship POs where it's coming right from the supplier. You can pick, pack, and ship things right out of the warehouse. You can do things on a standard work order where it's an assembled order. You can do a configured order. You can contract somebody to build things and then ship it either to you or directly to the customer, whatever makes good sense. You can do internal material from one inventory org to another. System will support the configured order or CTO, where the order comes in, work order gets generated based on the customer's order, and then that gets built and picked, packed, and shipped. All supported by cost management. So any costed transaction, that information goes into costing, either from receiving inventory, work in process. All that information is captured. If you're doing landed cost, you can capture the actuals off of the invoicing. So all the transactions can be transferred to costing. Once it hits there, you can run your business rules for SLA or subledger accounting, all those wonderful rules that'll move the dollars and cents into the proper accounts, and then transfer it to the GL, and then make sure that your making money, checking your profit, checking your actuals against your plan. Inventory also supports e-signatures and it'll generate the e-records. So in some industries, especially those that are regulated by one of those F agencies like Food and Drug or FAA, there's certain information that you need and or want to capture based on the rules and regs. So for certain transactions, you can capture the e-signatures like receipts, putaways, any corrections, miscellaneous transactions when you do your ship confirms. You can capture that info. If you are setting up the approvals, you can do inline process. So the approvals must be obtained before the transaction is saved. You can do deferred process. So the transaction is out there initiated, pending, and then goes through after the approval is maintained or obtained. During the signing process, you may be required to enter the username along with the password while generating the signature for inline and deferred transactions. Additionally, you can review all of the transactions for e-signatures, whether they're online or deferred, either online or you can look at the PDF file. So the functionality is there if you need it. I mentioned supply chain orchestration. So if you need and you've enabled some of the advanced flows, contract manufacturing, configured order back-to-back, min-max planning, planning requests, supply chain orchestration automatically selects the correct fulfillment process based on the rules that you've defined in the system. Again, if you're doing contract manufacturing, you need purchasing and manufacturing enabled. Configured order adds order management and manufacturing, may add procurement in there. If you're doing min-max planning, you may need to use procurement to kick off the replenishments and let's see, planning request, running the planning engine to help manage the orders. And it is very helpful if you have regional distribution and or manufacturing. You can send the request to the closest point to the customer to hopefully help speed things up and reduce cost. Or if they don't have the capability, you may ship it across the country because it's faster to get it to the customer. Extending inventory management. So if you've been around Oracle very long, you know that Oracle has a fairly wide open structure, lots of REST APIs to help manage the movement of information. So if you're working with a third-party logistics, you can share that information. If you're using a WMS system besides Oracle's, you can port the information out to track the receipts, confirmations, shipping requests, shipping confirms, inventory transactions from the 3PLs, a WMS system, contract manufacturer. And if you need additional information on that, you can go out to docs.oracle.com and search the integration piece. Other applications within the footprint or the stack, transportation management or OTM and GTM, both will work with the outbound materials. So get a sales order at some point of the process when you're picking it, getting ready to pack it and ship it. You can tender things out to your trading partners, transportation partners, or if you're using your own fleet, use that information to figure out how you want to do your loads, how you want to load things on the truck, how to route the truck through the customer drop-offs. And then global trade management helps when you're shipping across borders and making sure that you've got all of your documentation, all of the trade compliance vetted out for all of the shipping lines. Just to make sure, as we used to say, all your ducks are in a row so you can make your shipments. So that's a big picture of where our inventory fits, some of the functionality included, and a little bit on integration. So let's go get into the details.